Well met, lords and ladies, Jacob Butter speaking, and a warm welcome to this week's Walking Wednesday. I think I'm holding the camera right. So the reason I'm saying that is because I have to have my thumb on it at all times, because ever since last week in the rain, there's been a bit of a glitch where it will just zoom me out of, you know, when you go to a phone and you have like used apps. Yeah, usually press a button for that, but my one just does it automatically without me wanting to. So, I keep one hand on it pretty much at all times when I'm using it. But yeah, I'm gonna have to see if I can get that fixed. I thought it was gonna clear up as soon as it dried out or something. But it's been a week now. Usually this phone dries out much faster than that. I know, I'll have to get it fixed or something. But Jacob, why don't you just buy a new phone? No. I'm not buying a new phone at the first sign of trouble. If I'd done that, I actually would have a new phone, because this one had a screen that broke a while ago. But yeah, so the reason I do that is because, you know, these things, it's something I learned in graphics about built-in obsolescence. It's a very capitalist trick, but a trick nonetheless. It's basically when a device is designed to become obsolete at some point. So like a phone, for example, is designed so that you can use it, but then, you know, you'll want the update. Or something goes wrong and you are going to fix it, but you think, oh well, you know, might as well just buy the new version of this. I mean, this one is a Galaxy S6, I think. And I'm pretty sure they're already on the Galaxy S10 or something. I don't know. I used to have an S5 and I only replaced that one when it got really dire. And the reason I replaced my phone before that was actually because, cannot zoom in out in this moment, I'm trying to change my thumb so I don't get have my arm get tired, but it keeps thinking I'm zooming in or out. Okay, there we go. Give this hand a rest. Anyway, so, what was I saying? Oh yes, built-in obsolescence. Yeah, so my previous phone, I only replaced it because we then got family phones. And I thought, well, you know what, the phone has already been purchased. I might as well. So yeah, that's why that happened. Otherwise, I just like to continue with the same thing. It's like laptops as well, you know? You usually said replace that every 2 years or so. You know, I've gone for 4 years with a certain laptop. And then 4 years with the previous one. Actually, yeah, all the laptops I've ever had have been for 4 years. Which means in total I've had 4 laptops. Including the one I've got now, which hasn't been around for 4 years yet. Although I think it's not coming up close. Oh wait, no, the Toshiba one was a 3-year thing. That one broke sooner. I don't know. It's the same reason why some of the Mutant Girl episodes I've done in Vegas Pro 14, I was in Vegas Pro 17. Again, no reason to update the software if you don't need to. And I just thought, you know, since I've got to move computers, I might as well. And it was free to update it, so again, nothing to lose. I must say I prefer Pro 17 than Pro 14. Pro 14 served me well for 4 years, but Pro 17 is the future for me. They're advertising Pro 18 already. I'm starting to see they're just going to keep releasing new and new versions that can be more intuitive as you go along. I don't need anything more intuitive because I know the things that I need on there, and if I have to find something else out, I can just Google it or YouTube it, as the case actually. Because more often than not, I would find how to do stuff through YouTube tutorials, which is why the Mutant Girl exists, because I looked up things to do on tutorials, and I know how to get people to things to move and such. I must say, when I showed Natasha and Nasib that on the first day of the first episode airing, you know, even though they knew the script, Natasha was definitely in awe of what it looked like. I mean, we all were at that time before we realised it was awful. But either way, I remember she was because you know, someone who'd been doing gacha for some time, like she had, you know, suddenly seeing that a new thing was possible, I feel like that was a good a good accomplishment at the time. Of course, not to say that I would have fallen into complacency, because if I had done that, then we wouldn't be on season 2, episode 4 by now. And yeah, to be quite honest, we're almost on season 2, episode 5, because I've been actually working a lot more with Aidan, actually, and sharing some of the workload with him, partly because, you know, he has the drive to produce that as soon as possible. And it turns out that even if he doesn't watch the actual video itself completely blind, apart from the script which we co-wrote, it will still get a great reaction from it, just seeing it in his own editing software. That's the power of storytelling, folks, I must say. But yeah, to be honest, oh, they're not coming this way. Alright, what was I saying? Yeah, so actually that's the thing they've been working on. We've been pushing for, you know, the lines to be delivered for that, which they have. Basically, almost everything is done. And it's interesting because this time I didn't film all the scenes at once. Like normally I will do the audio first, completely finish that. Then I will film the stuff in Gotcha, and then I will edit that all together at the same time. Except this time, no. This time it's a scene by scene thing. Because yeah, certain parts were easier for Aidan to do on Shotcut, and some stuff that I could do on Vegas. And we're trying to figure out, you know, the only thing that we don't coincide on now actually is the ability to do cinematography. Other than that, it's our own personal editing styles that may clash, but I'm going to see how that gels together. Just to be honest, that will be a little bit of an issue going forward. And when I think about it, I do actually need to find a custom background for the next episode, even if it's just like for an interior shot towards the end. And then again, that's the stuff you've got to consider. Interior shots and such. Yeah, you want the best product you possibly can. But yeah, as for you can probably expect that Aidan wanted to know if it was going to be out today. But I'll be honest, I don't see that happening. Because, you know, as I was saying, today is a supply run day and such, and family visit day, and those can go on for as long as possible. I don't know. Sometimes we have some quick stops, sometimes we have some very slow stops, and today we've got 2 slow stops where we're going to take our time, bubble a bit, and socialise with family. So yeah, just bear that in mind. And then I'll probably get back and there'll be... Oh wait, no, today's not a server event day. Maybe I can finish the stuff then, but it'll probably come out at the earliest tomorrow. But yeah, who knows? I need to endeavour about a team, actually. Because quite honestly, I think it's something I should do at this point, because I mean, Aidan clearly is up for certain bits of editing. Well, I'm going to take that for granted. He's got his own series to work on. He just kindly offered, and I accepted. But yeah, as far as custom background makers go, I need to find someone very soon to actually do this kind of stuff with, that will actually give in the backgrounds on time, because I have a few people who have done custom backgrounds, and they don't always deliver, let's say. Speaking of delivering, as you can tell, I'm still waiting on the 10-minute bad boy reviews, although that's going to cause a little bit of a debate now as to whether it should carry on. So obviously my last video was all about the fact that Mimi's channel got suspended. And 3 days ago, there was an email from YouTube. I only found this out yesterday, as did Mimi as well. I don't know, she probably didn't see the email or something. But yeah, I only found this out yesterday. And it's that YouTube have reviewed the channel in question and have decided to keep it suspended. Now I'm thinking about it, it might be possible that she got 3 community guideline strikes all at once. However, if that were the case, then yeah, I guess that kind of makes sense that the channel is down, because that's another whole procedure. I just thought that it would make more sense if the actual content itself was taken down rather than the whole thing. And maybe it's because I see it from both perspectives, whereas YouTube obviously have other, their audiences to consider. However, if you want someone who's considerate of their audience, take Mimi, because partly the reason why Timmy the Babber was so rushed was because she thought that people would stop watching it if it didn't come out soon enough. And as much as I hate to admit it, she was kind of right on that front. Like, looking back in hindsight and remembering the way that her channel was and how the viewership took a complete and utter nosedive after Timmy the Bad Boy ended and OC's background got a hiatus, the 2 main driving forces of her channel both gone for some time, I can kind of see why that happened. That is the danger of having one thing that you do, is that suddenly if you stop doing that one thing, you're toast. Even if gacha does encapsulate a lot of stuff. That's not to say that her entire community was gone. There were a few loyal faces out there. And hopefully, as far as the 1,000 true fans go, I hope that she's got at least 100 of those or something. She was on her way to something great. But yeah, she's actually been really mature about the whole thing. Like because I talked to her, I thought she knew about the email, so I messaged her and I was saying things like, oh yeah, well, I'm not going to say anything majorly superficial, like for example, like, oh, I'm so sorry that it happened, or that you have my support, or that kind of thing, because yes, she knows that that's the case. Sometimes those things are good to say regardless of how redundant they are, but I thought that if she knew already that it wouldn't be appropriate to do so, especially because she was already being quite private about the whole thing. But yeah, it turns out she didn't know, so I ended up breaking the news to her, sort of. She found the email when she realised I was talking about an email in question. And she took it really as well as anyone could expect to do so. So yeah, she said something like, oh, well, I guess it's time for a new start. I'll be able to keep going, make new memories. And that's a good way of thinking about it. Like, obviously when this kind of stuff happens, or when I got my community guideline strike from Timothy Lacoste in 2018, I always think about the way that I would react to it. If I were to ever be in that situation where suddenly my channel was taken down. Honestly, if you see my computer, you know that my video file section is completely cluttered with every render I've ever done, or on an expansion drive. I've pretty much kept them all. Maybe not in their fully edited form, but I've at least kept them all. So to be honest, you know, if there was 3 videos, for example, Gaming Community Guidelines strikes, I would put them back, except for those 3. And I know that in a case of Google, they say you're not allowed to make any more accounts afterwards. I've got backup accounts. So, you know, it could happen. Either that, or I just pull a Simeon Jimmy. If you don't know about that, when Mumpky Jones had his channel suspended, he, by what he calls the Susaning, he actually created a whole new account. In fact, I took both his accounts, Mumpky Jones and Mumpky Jones 2, gone. So he actually created a new account. Well, he didn't create it, actually. It was actually his girlfriend that created it. Gave it the name Simeon Jimmy. And basically, it's a channel that uploads content from mumpkyjones.com, which of course is its own website where you can still watch any videos regardless. So he really does have nothing to lose there. In fact, I think there's a new service. I think something created by McJuggernuggets, a new YouTube alternative. Maybe he should investigate into that if that takes off. I don't quite know. Which way now? This way. Might end up in Tilgate again at this rate. But yeah, basically, yeah, so basically his girlfriend had the account. It was her account. He did not have the password for it, and therefore was not breaking the law as such, or breaking the terms of service. Well, to be honest, even if he did have the password, I reckon he probably wouldn't break it. It's not like it's his account. It's not like he actually necessarily made it. It's like it's like how Mimi's new account, which, by the way, I will put in the description. I will be starting probably like a sub to Mimi thing, just to get her somewhat back into like the community mindset. Because I don't think anyone seems to know that she has a new channel. She has a new channel, by the way. It's the artist formerly known as Mimi, and she's allowed to make her own new account because she's now old enough to make a Google account on her own without the use of her parents. And therefore, if she gets enough traction again, once she's 18, she can set up her own PayPal, and Bob's your uncle. So yeah, there are always ways around this and an attempt to find some sort of silver lining. That's what you need, to be honest, whenever that happens. But yeah, as much as I say that there are contingency plans or whatever, it is still an outlet that you've had for however long it is. In her case, it was around 2.5 years that she had been using that account. And suddenly to have that all taken away from you, it's always a risk. Everyone's aware of that risk in the back of their head. As soon as you make a YouTube account, you know that it can get removed if you step out of line, or if people strike you. There are always risks, and there's always a chance that the thing that you've built up one day can be knocked down instantly, regardless of how long you've taken. You know, it's like taking a long time to build Notre Dame, and suddenly a fire comes along, for example. All you can do is thank that there's no one in there, and just watch it burn. You can try and put out the flames, but you know, okay, that didn't work. It was a weird analogy. I don't know where that came from. Why have I got Notre Dame in my head? Either way, my point is, something beautiful can be taken away from you instantly. Something so precious to you that, you know, you suddenly think, what was it all for? Well, I'll tell you what it was all for. It was for the improvement of yourself. Should you decide to create a new YouTube channel, you then have the opportunity to say, oh, you know what? All that stuff there that I've learnt, I'm now better. I can now have a much better starting point than originally. And there was always the opportunity of remaking the stuff that you had before. Like, for example, we've been talking about the fact that Attaining the Bad Boy ever gets a remake. There's a chance to do it properly and not have young Mimi at the helm. And of course, there's all the other things that she was working on. I mean, she's got a much better starting point now than she did before, just uploading stuff like the alpha, which I'm now never going to get to see, actually. I was waiting to review that. You know, because of course, the whole meme about Mimi being embarrassed of her whole content. But yeah, now she gets to be embarrassed of her new content. Hopefully. We'll see. Definitely, if she's there, then I will be able to. I'll be there to review whatever she does. But yeah, it is a waste. Which is why I'm debating about releasing the Taming the Bad Boy reviews, the rest of them. Because like I said, they were all recorded ages ago. I was originally going to do a thing about how to fix Taming the Bad Boy. You know, tackle all the problems it had and basically see what could have been improved. Then of course season 2 came along and that was no longer really a thing to happen. I mean, originally I had sort of an idea that because Cole and Yuki were so toxic for each other that eventually Yuki would want to escape and essentially he would have to kind of start his own life again away from the shadow of his oppressor as such. This is long before I became Cole's voice actor myself, and I developed a soft spot for the guy, regardless of the stuff that I was forced to read in the reviews. But yeah, I do wonder now. I mean, obviously now if that ever gets remade, I'll be voicing Cole throughout. So yeah, best be prepared for that. Yep. But yeah, as far as anything goes, maybe I should do, if I do end up releasing all the rest of the reviews, I will make another how to fix the Taming the Bad Boy thing and see if Mimi takes it up and decides that she wants to essentially try again. See what happened last time, because now the place where you can find records of that existing is on my channel. That brings me to another thing that I was going to talk about. The fact that the series that's probably got her channel taken down in the first place is now only to be found on my channel, but more or less in its exact same capacity. That's put me in a very difficult position because, on one hand, I want to finish that series. I want to finish posting the reviews of Taming the Bad Boy. I want to be able to get those out there, express what I need to say, and, well, carry on. Keep reviewing more exciting gachas as I go along. Because it's a thing that started Gacha Review. It's one of the things that inspired it. Partly it was the Music is Pain mini-movie, which was the first thing I was going to review. But then suddenly Mimi came along and I thought, you know what? I'm going to focus on this. Because I've got the person here. I want to see what she thinks. So yeah, that review is also partly the reason for our friendship. She was actually a recommendation by Jaden for a voice actor because was I actually asked Jaden to voice both Raina and Geneva when Maya resigned. But Jaden said she would only do Geneva, and I had to think of another person for Raina, and then Jaden herself gave me the option of having Mimi on, which turned out to be a treat. And she continues to voice Raina to this day. So, yeah, all in all, like, it's all in all, it kind of all started because of Timmy the Bad Boy. So it's something that shouldn't be ignored or disregarded. I feel like it should be documented. That's important, at least to us, and also to Aiden, probably to Caroline too, all things considered, even though she's not really going to be watching it, or probably going to say she doesn't care anymore. At least it was done. At least it's out. It will be out there. However, the thing that is going to determine that isn't anyone's concerns about what's going to my channel, because I can tweak the videos if there's anything overly sexual that's in the videos, and I can because I mean, for the first 3 episodes, there's really just the only thing was really Yuki dressing up in a maid costume and them apparently sleeping in the same bed. Of course, there was a little bit of kinky stuff going on, to be honest, as well. Okay, so let's say there's a lot to consider. But as far as continuing the series goes, that will be determined by what Mimi wants. Because on one hand, she's now in a position where she'd have a completely viable excuse to put the series completely to bed. If it's too embarrassing and the cons outweigh the pros, then I understand. I would completely get where she's coming from, and I would just end the reviews there. However, if the pros outweigh the cons, in the sense of having that at least be somewhere on the internet in some form or another, then I will do so. At the risk of my own channel, but I will do so. Because, like I said, it's something that's important, and it's a part of our own history. I got the talk of, that's not what your followers are there for, or something like that. I got that parroted again from the fan fiction video that I made quite a while ago. Yeah, you know, as if somebody from the outside were to know what my viewers want better than myself. But I can understand the concern, because I'm still putting myself at risk of the exact same thing happening. But again, I feel like it's something that I have to do. Honestly, if it ends, it ends. And I will follow Mimi's footsteps. And I shall be mature enough to take it in its stride and to carry on. By the way, I'm in Tollgate again. Look at that. I try to go around in circles, but I always end up in this one place. Especially when I'm not looking for it. But yeah, where was I? It's yeah, so that's what's happened. So yeah, this week, that's all the update that I got. But yeah, things over here are gonna at least continue as normal. I hope that all made sense. I know people aren't screaming at me, "Oh no, don't do that." I don't know, I kind of owe it to her in a way. But yeah, so I'll put her channel in the description. If I actually edit the description of this video, it'll probably be in the iCard as well at some stage. Sub to Mimi. Gonna try a new hashtag, sub to Mimi. I'll probably be putting that at the end of a lot of videos now. Just the word sub to Mimi if it fits in the title. Either that, or I will just have it in the description and have it be highlighted on the video itself. And I mean it, people. Subscribe to her. She deserves it. Also, as kind of a last thing, I've been talking to Spartan Gaming because obviously, you know, he's back as Julius. Apparently his sister really likes watching Walking Wednesdays, so I thought I would say hi to her. So yeah, hola Claudia. I don't know exactly why it is that you like watching Walking Wednesday over literally anything else. I feel like I'm creating some sort of torture that the KGB could use at some point and put someone through to bore them to death. So yeah, Anthony, if you're listening to this, actually, don't go to Gulag. They'll make you watch this again. Yeah, so that was a little bit of a happier note to end on, I think. And once again, I breathe in the freshness of the lake without any of the watery smells associated with it. I think. Are they associated with it? I don't know. Yeah. I think that's it, basically. So yeah, please leave a like or dislike because your opinion matters. I want to see some sub to Mimi videos, okay? Or some comments. Both, actually. I want to see both, especially videos. Sub to Mimi. Put that at the end of your videos. Let's get people talking about this. So yeah, on that note, until next time, farewell.